Today is Sunday, July the 31st, 2022. It is 2:45 in the afternoon. It's about 78, 79 degrees. It's a beautiful day, a little breezy. And I'm going to do a little bike tour of the south part of West Union. Most of my videos have been done right up in this neck of the woods, the north side, and then central. So hello. Good. How you doing? That was Betty, my mother and grandfather's longtime secretary at the law firm, and she continues to work there for Dillon Law, which is great. Anyway, back to the video here. I'm gonna get a little technical stuff out of the way first for other GoPro users. That's the type of camera I'm using, and I'm trying some different settings today. I am recording this at 2.7K and 24 frames per second for a kind of a cinematic look. And note that I have the bars at the top and bottom of the screen. Lens is wide. I've got it on the high setting for Hypersmooth. Bit rate is high. ISO is set minimum 100, maximum 800. I've got the sharpness set on low. And let's see, color profile would be GoPro. So okay, we got all that stuff out of the way. Anyway, I'm gonna head to the south part of town and get some footage there, because I've been kind of neglecting. Oh, there's a stage that's part of that Ragbri that was in town. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think on Friday. Okay, we're heading up, what is this, Pine? I think this is South Pine Street. And when we get to the top here, we'll turn to the right. Okay, we're going to go down this alley here. Yeah. Now, I don't know anybody that lives on this alley except one person. And so that's how up to date I am with West Union. When we get down here, I'm going to turn left. Head back to Pine Street and take another left here and hit a little road here called Otter Street up here to the right. Now this has significance because this is where I used to practice with the band when I first joined when I was 15 years old. And not this on the end here, but the next house down, which actually is no longer there, but Larry Crandall's mother lived there on the corner. Or not right on the corner, it's about the second house down, and we used to practice on her porch, which I'm sure she loved. Little teeny porch. And then down here a ways, on the left side, our lead guitar player, Tommy Stair, lived. And I think it was about where this little brown house is right here with a flag in the front yard. And we would have practice sessions down there. It's a long time ago. That was probably in 1966 maybe. So things have changed. Anyway, back up here to Pine Street, and I'm going to take a left. And yeah, I think this is about where Larry's mother lived. And take a left here. We're going to go way to the bottom. Now, my buddy Johnny always says, do you speed these up or do you actually ride that fast? Actually, it's the lens that makes it look so like I'm going a lot faster than what I am. It's that wide angle lens, I think, that kind of does that. So it's an illusion. Okay, this is Echo Valley Road. To the left goes out to Echo Valley. And we're going to turn on this little cut through here. And to the right here, there is a, what do they call that? Kind of a, some type of a facility for, what is it? It's not a, is it a jail kind of? I don't even know for sure what it is, but, a correctional facility, I think they call it. So I'm not quite sure who goes in there, but that's what that is. Over here to the left is Steve Ward's body shop. He does great work. He's pounded on a lot of dents for me and painted vehicles. To the right is the lumber yard, and we're coming up to South Vine Street here. And when we get up here, I'm going to take a left, and we're going to go down to the south. And I'm not sure what this building here is to the left, but down here to the right is the Fairgrounds. We just had the fair a couple of weeks ago, so we'll go in there and see what's going on. I haven't been to the fair, and I don't even remember when I was there last. When I was a kid, it was a big deal, and as an adult, not so much. But anyway, well, there's people out here. I don't know what this is all about. What do we have here? Oh, that stand there. I think they used to serve food there. Oh, this little stage. I performed on that once for the bank. Hired me to do a deal for the, I don't know what it was for, but I did a solo gig there for a bunch of people. And, oh, these are exhibit halls. They have pottery and painting and flowers and stuff like that. I assume that's what they still have in those buildings. Straight ahead, that goes out to the track where they have the races. Oh, and straight ahead, if you look way down there, that is the Pavilion. No, not this. This is they've got a fish pond in there, and that's where they have the art exhibits, I guess, for paintings and stuff, blue ribbons and white ribbons. But straight ahead here, this is the Pavilion. When I was in the rubber band years ago, we played lots and lots of gigs down here in West Union. It's a lot of fun. It was back in the 60s. Going up here to the grandstand, where they have their shows. I think they had they have all sorts of stuff. This little stand here, when I was probably junior high or younger, used to sell pop down here at the races. My buddy Rich Swale and I would carry popcorn and pop, and underneath the grandstand there, some kid from Waterloo once socked me in the face and knocked all my money on when I was selling popcorn on the ground. Anyway, here we're going to get up on, I think this is Franklin Street. This is on the far south end of West Union. And we'll go down here back to South Vine Street. And again, I'm not going as fast as it probably looks. It's just, I think the lens causes it to look a little faster. You can see how the wind's blowing. Look at the flag there. Now on the corner of this brown house, get a better shot. That's where I believe Tommy Stair lived at one point. I can't remember exactly the chronology because I know he also lived on Otter Street, but And down here, of course, over to the left here, that's the Fairgrounds again. We've looped around. And to the right, not this White House to the right, but this one that's kind of under the trees, that's where the Stair family lived. Mark and Tom and the whole clan. And back in high school and junior high, that's where Mark and I would listen to a lot of Steppenwolf on his stereo there. Goes back quite a few years. Here again to the left is the entrance to the Fairgrounds. And we'll just head up here a ways. And we'll get on the sidewalk here to the right, next to this white building, and go up take a look at some of these houses. A friend of mine, Melanie Buckley Ellis, I believe her married name is Ellis, messaged me and said, why don't you do a video of the south side of town? And I know why she wanted to see that, because they grew up, she and her 3 sisters grew up in this house up to the right, this kind of yellow house, not the little one here, but the yellow. That's where our family and her family were real good friends, so we spent a lot of time over here playing in the backyard there. I remember that. This building here, I don't know what, I think that was a business at one time, maybe insurance. I might be wrong. I just vaguely remember that, but this is the old Buckley House, way back in the 50s. And we're going to go up here a little further, and I'm going to think I can show you where they moved to then, probably in the, I'm going to have this wrong, but probably in the maybe 70s. I'm all wrong. I'm sure I'm all wrong about this, but anyway, the Buckleys moved over here across the street into one of these. There's a bunch of big houses here. I think it was this one to the left. I think that's where the Buckleys lived. I can't remember for sure, because there's another big house right here, this blue one. And I don't know if it was this one or I think it was the first one, but I'm sure I'll hear from them. They'll set me straight. In one of these houses, Doc Freed, the local doctor, lived in. I think his wife's name was Marion, Doc and Marion Freed. I'm pretty cloudy on some of my ancient history here in town. But we'll head down here, down to downtown again. And there's some pretty nice homes here along this stretch, South Vine Street. To the left is the remnants of H&H Distributing. That's where Larry worked for years and years. Okay, we're getting downtown again, and there's the banner left over from Ragbri welcoming all the writers. Gus and Tony's restaurant to the right. And oh yeah, we got a Chinese restaurant here. I should try that again. And up here on the right, this greenish building, there used to be a bar underneath there called the Greasy Spoon. And we actually played down there back in the 60s. The stage was about the size of a postage stamp. And of course we're going to have to go over and look at the old law office that my mother and grandfather had. Now it's the Dillon Law, which is great. Betty's still working there, and so I'm glad that they just remodeled that. It's very, very nice. There's the Courthouse Square. It was convenient for my mother and grandfather. All they had to do is go across the street. And the bank on the left here. The big old building to the right there, it looks pretty dilapidated. It used to be Used to be a funeral home, and then it was a law office, and I don't know what it is. I hear rumors that it was sold to the city, and the city sold it to somebody else. Anyway, heading back home here, see if there's anything interesting. But that's pretty much my little mini tour of I guess, the southeast quadrant of West Union. And we're heading up North Vine Street now. And there's a house up here that kind of pretty. They've been doing some remodeling to the left. It used to be where Billy Johnston lived, the organist at the Presbyterian Church, and then his son Bobby lived there. And I don't know who lives there now, but it sure looks nice. And I could tell you all the people that used to live in these homes 50 years ago, but I don't know who any of them now. Yeah. This big house to the left is where Mark Haynes grew up with his mom Jim and Gloria Haynes. This one right here. Mark is that songwriter. Wrote Train Track, co-wrote Train Track Penny and Mr. Gray and Carry Me Out to Sea. To the right, that's where Kevin, right there, Kevin Connor grew up in that house. Kevin and Kirk Connor and Judson and Kristen. And anyway, I'm heading home here. Hospital off to the left. This is Lincoln Drive. And we got to get a good shot of the Craft House where Leslie and Lisa grew up. I think it looks pretty much like it did back in the 50s. That's where they grew up. That's where Leslie and I wrote our hit song, Nobody Loves a Stupid Beatniks. And this is where I live. Big old red house with the red cars. So thank you for riding along with me today on the West Union South Side bike tour.